What's going on, folks? So, back today to talk about the the Marvel Legends Maximum series that they have announced. Specifically, they're kicking it off with the Spider-Man figure. It's kind of a Todd McFarlane-esque Spider-Man figure. As you guys can see over here, like I do collect Marvel Legends. I don't consider myself like, I mean, I am a toy collector, I guess, but I see it more as like I just collect collectibles, which more often than not turns out to be toys, of the various franchises that I like. But when I go to like when I go looking for collectibles and stuff to buy, it's not first and foremost from the perspective of a toy collector. It's like, for example, with the Marvel Legends, it's first and foremost as a Marvel fan. The toy thing comes separate. Like when it came time when I was starting to get into like collecting Dragon Ball stuff, at first I thought I was going to collect like SH Figuarts, but I got a few of them and I had to be honest, I was like they're not bad, but I was also aware of like the Bon Presto, Ichiban Kuji, Ichiban Show type stuff, more like statues. And for some reason, the statues, the Bon Presto statue, Ichiban Kuji stuff, kind of, it just seemed like it better exemplified Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z than these did. So I went with those. So, but I do collect Marvel Legends. It's just not first and foremost from the perspective of a toy collector. But I'm going to talk about the Maximum series because it's created quite a stir amongst the toy collecting community and the Marvel Legends community because of the price. Let me just, I'm pretty sure I remember the price being announced that it was $50, but I want to make sure. Marvel Legends Maximum Spider-Man, $50. Yeah, okay, so people, when this thing was announced, basically what this was is this was a Marvel Legends Spider-Man figure with a level of articulation and a level of accessories that people have been just kind of feeling Marvel Legends should just have in general. Like this should not be a maximum series. This should not be an extra special kind of figure. A figure with this level of articulation and like all these accessories, this level of detail, to a lot of collectors, this is what Marvel Legends just straight up was at one point, and then slowly they started to take more and more away from us. And now they're giving it back to us, but at a higher price, and they're slapping this maximum label on it. Now, no one really cares about the name maximum. That doesn't mean anything. It's the price. Everyone seems to have something to say about the price. So I'll give my 2 cents on it. And I'm going to be quite harsh in this video, and I'm probably going to piss a lot of people off, but just know, like, if I piss you off, if you watch this video and the stuff that I say pisses you off, you're in the wrong, and you're pissed off because I'm making good points. That's really what it is. So when this figure was announced and I saw it, I'm a big Spider-Man fan. I love Spider-Man, and this looked like one of the best Spider-Man figures. We've been getting a lot of good Spider-Man figures from Hasbro in recent years. First, we got the Retro series, then we got the Renew Your Vows, then we got all in the same year, we got the Renew Your Vows, we got the first appearance, then they reused the first appearance body on the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends 3-pack. So if you wanted the more classic color scheme instead of the red and black, you wanted red and blue, you'd get the one from the 3-pack, which is the one that I have right there. I had the Renew Your Vows. Renew Your Vows is too big and tall for me. I ended up going with the first appearance body mold is the perfect Spider-Man body mold for just a general Spider-Man. Now, if you're specifically looking for something like a McFarlane Spider-Man, then yeah, you're probably going to want something different. If you just kind of want like a generic one and done be all end all Spider-Man, it's probably that one right there. But if you specifically want like a McFarlane style, then yeah, you probably need a different one. And it looks like the Maximum series is going for that McFarlane style Spider-Man. So they announced this thing. I'm a Spider-Man fan. I see it. I see all the articulation. I see the pictures, the photos of the poses. I see all the accessories. And you know what I think? I think I'm going to buy that shit. There was no, what's the price going to be? What's the price going to be? You want to know why? This is where I'm going to start pissing people off. It's because I'm at a position in my life as a grown ass adult to where there is no way, there's no way an action figure, a plastic action figure, is going to cost more than what I can afford. It's just not going to happen. Now, there are some instances on the aftermarket. You know, a figure has been out for several years or more, and it was a highly sought after, highly liked figure. It's not in production anymore, and you can only find it on like eBay or at conventions. That's when the price tends to go up beyond what I'm willing to pay. But when we're talking about a brand new, it's a toy, it's a plastic action figure, right? When we're talking about it's being first released at retail or online or wherever, at its base retail MSRP, there is no plastic action figure beyond my ability to afford. It's not going to happen because I'm an adult with real adult money. That's just the way it is. So I didn't even worry about the price. And here's the thing. In my head, I went, what I did was, I thought, okay, so they're increasing articulation, they're adding more accessories, and my mind immediately went to what's another toy line out there like that, where it's just well known and famous for high amounts of articulation and accessories. And I immediately started thinking of SH Figuarts, especially when it comes to the articulation part of that statement. SH Figuarts are extremely articulated and have in the past, a lot of them have come with pretty large amounts of accessories, alternate hands, faces, like it's just, yeah, heads. So yeah, and for those of you who don't know, SH Figuarts action figures, they're not cheap. They're not, because when you're gonna have an action figure like this, right, and it's gonna have this many moving parts to where you can do all kinds of crazy shit with it, like when you're gonna have that many small individual pieces that make up this toy, guess what? Each one of those pieces has to be sculpted and molded individually. And on top of that, the toy collecting community, the action figure collecting community specifically, you tend to bitch and moan and whine more and more and more about when companies reuse parts of a body. They use they use those legs on that character, but then they use the same legs on another character, and you complain about that. So what you're telling these companies is, you guys need to go make new body parts. Well, guess what? That costs money. Think about how many. Like I'm thinking, like I'm trying to figure out how many individual pieces of plastic make up one leg on this guy, and it's a lot. So yeah, the price is going to go up because that's what you guys are demanding. It's not the old school action figures anymore of just like swivel in the shoulder and that's it. Like that's gone. So I 100% believe that when a company like Hasbro is telling us this is what it costs to make an action figure like this in 2025, I believe that they're telling the truth, but I still reserve the right to say that price is not worth it to me. It might be what the market price is for that thing to make, but it's not worth it to me. And I reserve the right to also say it is worth it to me. That's all I can judge. Like when Galactus, I have Galactus on the shelf over here. When they first announced him, did I believe that charging $300 for him was probably an appropriate price? Yes. Did I personally agree that paying $300 for a plastic action figure was worth it? No, not at the time. It wasn't until all of the other layers of that crowdfunding thing were unlocked and we were getting all the extra shit, then it's like, okay, now I think it's worth the value. So the point I'm trying to make here, people, is if you're a grown ass adult, right, and you find out that an action figure, if you're a grown ass adult and you collect toys, you collect action figures, and you find out that a new action figure, plastic action figure, is coming out and it's going to be released, and it's beyond your price range. Getting online on YouTube and crying about it is not the adult thing to do. You just accept the fact that you can't afford it, or you shut the fuck up and you move on, right? And one thing you definitely do is you don't put yourself as a grown ass adult, you don't put yourself in a financially bad position just to be able to afford plastic toys. Push comes, it doesn't matter how much you love this stuff, doesn't matter how much joy it brings you. If you're a grown ass adult and you can't afford it, you live without it. Period. That's the way it works. So, and when I saw the articulation of that Spider-Man and the accessories and everything, my mind immediately went to this. And I went, okay, in my mind, I said, the maximum, absolute highest amount of money that that Spider-Man figure is going to cost us is they're going to charge $70, 70. It ended up being 50. So in my opinion, we're good, you know? If you if you're a grown ass adult, like I'm not saying that like, oh, you can't afford this cool toy. What are you, you little broke bitch? That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if you have other, because there's real life shit that sometimes we have to handle, right? So like a lot of people have kids, homes, a lot of like other shit going on. Some people have to take care of their parents in their elderly age. My point is, if you're a grown ass adult, if you cannot afford to drop $50 on a plastic action figure, that's fine. No, nothing against you. I'm not. Oh, you broke ass bitch can't afford. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you cannot afford it, you just suck it up and accept that you cannot afford it. You don't get the fuck on the internet and whine about not being able to buy a plastic action figure. That's dumb. That's some fucking punk ass shit. So, but yeah, do I believe that it should that the $50 is justified? Yes, I believe it probably in order for them to make a profit, get the figure made and make a profit on each one. Yes, I think in 2025, I think they probably need to charge $50 per figure. Do I think that that is too much to ask for, not to ask for, but do I think that is too much for me personally, me to be paying for a plastic toy? No, because I got it like that. I can afford it. But there are people out there who think it's too much. It's not too much, guys. It might be too much for you, is the point that I'm trying to make. And if it's too much for you, because your other grown ass adult financial obligations don't leave you with enough money to be able to drop $50 on an action figure, then you don't drop $50 on an action figure. That's just what it is, right? Like, I'm, it's easily doable to me, you know. I'm not saying that like you're a bad person or like, oh, you should be able to afford it, and if you can't, you suck, you're a broke ass punk ass bitch. That's not what I'm saying. All right, what I'm saying is just if you cannot afford it, shut the fuck up, don't cry about it. It is what it is, you know? That's the price. So, yeah, take that for what you guys will. Me personally, I'll be honest with you, I'm buying this motherfucker. I already pre-ordered it. Like, it looks sick. And out of all of the various artist specific Spider-Man designs, this one is the only one where I'm like, yeah, I want a separate Spider-Man figure for that. This one up here, I had all intentions like this is just going to be my Spider-Man and it's going to be my one and only Spider-Man. That's the one from the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends 3-pack. I was like, that's my one and only Spider-Man. It checks all the boxes for me. I don't ever need another Spider-Man. But McFarlane's design is the one exception to that, where I'm like, okay, I do want a specifically McFarlane Spider-Man. But other than that, yeah, probably not gonna buy. I don't know what this Maximum series really is gonna end up being overall. I mean, are we really gonna get like every Marvel character? Like, look at this shelf. Are we really gonna get every one of these characters redone in the Maximum series? Because I'll be honest, I'm not rebuying all these characters. And a lot of these figures that are already up on here on this shelf, they're fine the way they are. I don't need the maximum version. All right. The only reason I'm getting this one is because it's McFarlane Spider-Man. You know, I think that the Daredevil, the 3-pack Daredevil from Hasbro right there, I think that's the best Daredevil figure ever been made, and it's perfectly good. The Ultimate Captain America, which is right here, that was sick. What else we got? The modern Doctor Strange from back in I think 2022, that one's also sick. 2022 was a good year for Marvel Legends and DC Multiverse by McFarlane. But yeah, uh, I really don't have any much more to say. Like with, you know, I just don't. It's just like it is what it is, guys. It's a $50 action figure. You can afford it or you can't. And I'm not saying you're like there's anything wrong with you if you can't. I'm just saying like it's like if someone can if I don't really have many other like toy collecting friends that I know in real life and I interact with in the day to day. Most of my other friends that I interact with in the day to day in person are more like gamer friends. We play like Warhammer 40K together and stuff like that. But if I had other toy collector friends and one of them came to me and I was like, "Hey man, are you gonna get that new Maximum Spider-Man series figure that Hasbro announced?" And he was like, "No, this year we're redoing the kitchen, and plus we just had the baby and whatnot. I just can't be dropping $50 on an action figure right now." I'd be like, "Okay, dude, yeah, I totally get it. That makes reasonable sense. You're a grown ass adult. You got grown ass adult things to handle. You don't have the extra $50 to be throwing towards a fucking toy right now. That makes total sense. You're a grown ass man." But when you're a grown ass man and you can't afford the toys you want, so you get on YouTube and cry about it, now you're being a cringy punk ass bitch. That's what you're being. So yeah, take that for what you guys will. If you agree with me, disagree with me, I don't care. Leave some comments down below if you want. If you really like this video, please hit the like button. It does help out the channel. And if you want to help out my channel even further, check out some of my other videos and subscribe. But other than that, I'll talk to you guys next time.